Hello folks, and welcome to episode 28 of the Counting Sheep podcast. My name is Ruth and I'll be your host today. And welcome back to all my returning listeners. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you find something that you can relate to. And if you do, be sure to leave me a comment or just hit the like button. That'd be great. My podcast is about crocheting, knitting, and some spinning, and other little shenanigans I get up to in and around my farm here in Vermont. We have a small sheep farm. I live here with my husband, my dog, my cat, 4 sheep, and a gaggle of chickens. So, and you might be hearing Cooper out and about. He's my podcast buddy here, and he likes to come out on the deck with me when I'm podcasting. So I was supposed to podcast last week, but I was out having the time of my life. I met up with my friend Tammy and we went to Webb's down in Northampton, Massachusetts. And then we spent a couple of nights in a very sweet B&B. And I have some footage of that trip. You might have seen a little bit on the front end. But I'll put most of the other stuff at the end in case that's not your jam. You can just kind of tune out then. So, but yeah, we had a great time. We went just in time for the big heat dome heat wave here in the east. But luckily all of our indoor accommodations were air conditioned. We did spend some time outside on their porch, just knitting, crocheting, catching up, chatting. So that was when it wasn't too hot yet. And then right after the heat wave, we had a couple of days of stormy weather here, lots of rain, so that did the garden some good. And now today I'm just gonna try to get this podcast recorded before it starts to rain again. So yeah, we have our hummingbird feeder out as normal, and those guys have been coming in and out fairly frequently, so you might be able to get a gander at those birds there. So I have a lot to get to, a lot to show you today. So I'm going to jump right in. Usually I start with crochet, and I am so proud to have finally finished my Ginan sweater. So here it is in all its glory, and it is blocked as well. So if you've been with me for a while, you know this has been an ongoing saga. Not really a saga, but it's been quite some. I've invested quite a few podcasts in this sweater. It is a fingering weight sweater. It is done with a Tunisian crochet hook, and it is done in the round. And so it was a really neat construction, top down. What I loved about it is I could try it on as I went. So I made it the length that I like to have my sweaters at. And if I remember, I will stick a picture in here of what it looks like on my body. This was done in a fingering weight yarn that has planned pooling to it. So, and this is what it looks like in the skein. It is from Blue Barn Fiber, and they are in a dyer in Idaho. And this is called the Blue Blooms. And the base is their squishy sock. So yeah, very pretty. You got a little bug here that likes my yarn. So yeah, it's really, I'll just back up a little bit to show you. So proud of this. So yeah, now the whole sweater is supposed to have these baubles on them, but I figured I'll just keep them in the yoke. I was happy with just those amount of baubles that I have here, or that amount of baubles. So I have them on the back as well. So yeah, really psyched, got that done. Probably going to use this skein of yarn for a pair of socks. I had this left over and some of another skein left over as well. So this was a sweater that was in the Morag magazine, I believe issue 3, I want to say, but it is a pattern that is available now on Ravelry. So that's the Ginan sweater, and done. So just need to put my tag in it, that's all, and then it'll be totally done. So very proud of that. Moving on, I showed you the last time that I was working on the Tunisian sampler shawl. This is a crochet along that is being sponsored by Ginan of Nina's Knots Crochet podcast. And it is a Tunisian crochet shawl. I'm kind of on this Tunisian kick right now. And it is truly a stash buster for me. It's done in DK weight yarn, and I'll just show you the picture here. This pattern is by Haley Joanne Robinson, and that's what the picture looks like there. And my yarn choices, like I said, are from Stash. A lot of these are cotton blends, some with silk, some with alpaca. I'm getting toward the end. I have a few more sections to go. I believe I have 3 more sections to go. They're kind of short sections, but as you can tell when I back up and show this to you, that the rows are quite lengthy. In fact, let me just back up a little bit more here. And there it is. It does get a border on it. This is a free pattern, by the way. But what this shawl does is it takes you through quite a few of the Tunisian crochet stitches that are out there. And kind of either refreshes what you know or teaches you other things. I just got done with this blue row here, which is all bobbles, which is kind of fun. Yeah, and now I'm doing kind of a cross stitch row. But yeah, like I said, this is like a great stash buster. You can go in, I believe it takes 8 colors altogether. Of different yarn, and boy, this is going to be a warm shawl. Very it's got some drape to it. It's very, it's got some body to it as well. So yeah, real fun. Can't wait to get that done. But yeah, just moving along. The cowl runs until the end of June, so I've got just a little over a week left or about a week left to try to get it done. And then I think we're submitting pictures to the Facebook group. So it's really, it's been interesting to see other people doing their shawls along the way. It's kind of been fun. So yeah, so if you're got a stash that you need to bust through, this one is definitely, I highly recommend this pattern. I am using a Tunisian crochet hook. This is a Likey crochet hook. This is a J10 or a 6mm. And then I did attach one of the swivel hooks. This is from the Mindful collection, Knitter's Pride Mindful collection. And they have markings along the cord, 1-inch markings along the cord, so you can kind of keep track of your measurements and that sort of thing. But yeah, I really enjoy using these cords. They make, when you have that many stitches on the needle, it makes it a lot easier to manipulate the stitches. All right, so that's my Tunisian sampler shawl. My next make, I want to show you, I haven't done, I've reached actually an impasse on this. This is my Take Two shawl, and I'll just show you the pattern real quick. This is a pattern by Mariana Mueller, a very gorgeous pattern, as you can see. And after I got done with all the striping rows, I just kind of sat back and looked at it, and I gotta tell you, the colors were just not doing it for me. I'm thinking about just kind of ripping it back and using the yarn for something else. Yeah, for some reason I'm just not loving it, and it could be the hot weather, I don't know. Yeah, I love this first part, but when you put all of the different colors together, it's just it's kind of dissonant. So yeah, let me know what you think, but I think this is gonna go in the frog pond, and I will use all of the yarns for different things. Mariana Mueller has such beautiful patterns. If you have checked her out on Ravelry, her business name is Sweet Crochet Dreams, and yeah, I've bought several of her patterns, so I know I'm gonna find something that I really resonate with one of these yarns. But I might just go stash diving again and see if I can come up with 5 colors of fingering weight yarn that just kind of play together a little bit better than these two. So, but you know, you live and learn. I had a feeling, you know, when I chose those 5 different colors that it was going to be a challenge. So, but yeah, we all kind of make our color errors and mistakes along the way, and it's crocheting, and all crochet is good crochet, I think. So, and speaking of which, I did start something, a new project. If you recall, a couple episodes ago, I made a couple of the TOFT animals. I think I made the Emma Bunny and Piotr the polar bear, and I did buy a kit from Longmont Farm, Longmont Yarn Shop out in Longmont, Colorado, and it was for this guy here, Morag the Highland Coo, and I'm happy to say I was able to break into it and start it. I started with the easiest pieces because, as you can see with him, he has a lot of what this is called loop stitch, which is kind of a fiddly type of stitch until you get to, once you're used to it, it's not so fiddly. But I wanted a chance to practice this loop stitch before I actually, you know, started his head and body and legs. So I did make his horns, and I made the tail, which are both done in, let's see, they're both done in this oatmeal. Actually, just the horns are done in the oatmeal color. So those are there. I did practice using the tail, making the tail, but this will be done actually in the camel color, which is this color here. So this is DK weight yarn from TOFT. You get enough yarn in the kit to make the animal. You get a crochet hook. You get enough of the black to do the embroidery, like the nose. And then you also get a tapestry needle. And then also you get enough stuffing for the animals. So yeah, this is how far I got. And then I did get to practicing the stitch for the loop stitch. I tried this first on some sticky fingering yarn from Jamieson's of Shetland. And because this yarn is so sticky, I felt like it didn't flow through my fingers all that well. And then I practiced with the TOFT yarn itself, and it was coming out much, much better. So yeah, I think the trick is to just try to get the loops the same length, and also to secure the loops so that they don't come out, which I think I've mastered. Yeah, so it pays to practice these little things. So, but yeah, I think I'm getting the hang of it. So hopefully I'll be able to soldier on with that, and you'll see some progress with that. But yep, that's from TOFT. Yeah, they have quite a few kits. The animals, she does birds, and now I think she's gotten into vegetables. So, and they're pretty cute too. So, all right, so that's it for my crochet. I wanted to show you what I've been working on in knitting. And I've been taking an online class with Pam Grushkin, who is a knitting instructor, a very good knitting instructor. And this class is called the Fiberfest Shawl class. And the Fiberfest Shawl is by Stephen West. So that's what that looks like. And it's a shawl designed for those really wonderful skeins that you pick up here and there, maybe at a fiber festival, or at your local yarn shop, or maybe online. And I was intrigued by it. There is brioche in it. And I've learned brioche in the past, but haven't done a lot of it. And the colors I'm using, this first one is called Bayberry, and it's from Dirty Water Dye Works. It's this nice green. And this is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. It's actually one of my favorite blends, with that little bit of cashmere in there. And then my second color is from Abbymade Designs, and this colorway is called Cobblestones. It's also 80% superwash merino, extra fine, 10% cashmere, and 10% recycled nylon. So same content there. And then I have this mystery ball of yarn, which is my third color. And I don't know what happened to the ball band, so I can't tell you even what the fiber content is, but it is a nice fingering weight yarn, and I do love this yellow. So had to do something with the yellow for sure. And so here is my progress so far. And I managed to get 2 bands of brioche done. And I believe there's one more band of brioche, and then there's brioche in the border. Our last class is meeting in July. We meet over Zoom. And that actually, that class is going to be dedicated to the border. And as you can see from the pattern page, it is quite the border. It's probably most of the work of the shawl, but I'm really enjoying this. I did put a lifeline in right before I started this brioche pattern here, just because the stitches were getting, we're increasing as we're going, so the stitch count is going up. And if I had to rip back, I only wanted to rip back to the point where the brioche started. So yeah, and that's the front. The back, the yellow plays up a little bit more on the back. But this yellow is going to really play a big part in the border. So can't wait for that to happen. I'm just going to plug away at it, and yeah, great fun with that. I'm having a good time, so highly recommend that. pattern. You just see the little texture in this one section here. It's really cool. So that's a lot of fun. I think I'm using a number 4 US 4 needle size for this with the fingering weight yarn. His shawls are incredible works of art, I think. And I have not tried one before now because I don't know whether it's because I was intimidated or I knew there were a commitment or what it was. But it's nice to have an instructor like Pam to kind of walk you through all the bits and areas that could trip you up. So yeah, highly recommend having a good time with that. And then I wanted to show you, I'm very excited. This is a future make. I think I'm going to start this after I get done with the Stephen West shawl. And let me show you. I've showed you this on other episodes. This is The Shift by Andrea and Mowry. And I was very much inspired by my friend Tammy's shift that she had on, and thought that this would look really good in handspun. So I did get the 3rd color done. There are 3 colors in the shift. This first color is this one. It's from Hello Yarn, and it's colorway Paint by Number. And it's a Targhee bamboo viscose and tussa silk top. So that's the first color. The second color is from Miss Babs. This is an 80% merino, 20% tussa silk top. And this is called Mystic Waters, the colorway. So that's that one. And then finally, this is my 3rd one that I just got done recently. This is also from Hello Yarn. And this is 100% wool. It's a Targhee wool top, and the colorway is called Will-o'-the-Wisp. Yeah, really happy with that pop of kind of an orangey orange pop in there. So yeah, the 3 of them together, hopefully they will blend well, and we'll have a wonderful shift in a bit. So it'll be a nice transition after the Stephen West shawl, and looking forward to doing an Andrea Mowry pattern. I think I have done one of hers before. They're very well written. She really is a very good designer, very nice. You know, her patterns are well loved, and so I had a yarn explosion here, so let's try to get that back in order. Yeah, so that's a future make. That's upcoming. Excited about that. And in spinning, since I accomplished getting those 3 done, that was like one of my big goals, was to get those done. I am now spinning this lovely happy color. And I think this actual dyer is no longer dyeing, no longer in business. I went to their website, and there was nothing up for sale there, so they may be on a break, I'm not sure, but it's called Gnomespun. And this is the colorway Heart of Fire. This is a domestic Polworth wool comb top, and I have 4 ounces of it. So, but yeah, really, as soon as I started spinning this, and I started spinning it when I was away with Tammy, I immediately felt happy. It's such a happy color to be spinning, and sometimes you need that, right? You need a little lift. So yeah, so yeah, it's got lots of red, orange, yellow. I'm not sure if my camera's picking it up, but yeah, and little bits of white just to break it up a little bit. So So yeah, that's a lot of fun to do, and looking forward to getting that done. And then finally, I'm putting in an extra segment here. I'm going to call just things I bought, things that came home with me, or acquisitions, as most other podcasters call it. When I was at Webb's, I, of course, you know, you can get pretty overwhelmed in a big store like that. But luckily, took my time, walked around. Tammy and I had a good time there. I did pick up more of the mindful cords, these cords that I was talking about, because I really do like them for the Tunisian crochet. But I also saw that they have them for their needles as well. And I think where that is most helpful is if you're doing socks 2 at a time on a long needle. The cord allows for a lot more maneuverability in the stitches. So just want to show you these. So I did get a small size lace needle. So the tips are sharp, so you can get into your stitches really well. This is a US 0. I do have to, I'm a loose knitter, so when I knit socks, I really do have to go down quite a few sizes in order to get gauge. And this is a 40-inch. So, see, I haven't tried this out yet for socks, but stay tuned, I will. I bought a US 5, a 40-inch for the shift cowl that I'm about to start. And then I just bought some lace tips. These are US 4. So I can actually just use the cord I have down here, take off the crochet hook, the Tunisian crochet hook, and put these tips on. So, so yeah, this is by Knitter's Pride, and it's their Mindful collection. And then I've kind of been on a silk kick lately. If you've noticed, I was spinning up some silk here. But also looking at silk yarns in general for socks and other items. And they had this, I think this is Mylan White Seta Felicia yarn. And this is it's made in Italy, and it's a 55% virgin wool, 25% polyamide, and 20% silk. It is machine washable. But really love that blue color predominantly, but also greens, and there's a little bit of pink in there and white as well. So, so self-striping essentially. Yeah, so I thought that would make some really nice socks. And then if you've never been to Webb's, they have a huge warehouse out back that you're allowed to go into and peruse, and a lot of their discontinued yarn is out there, and a lot of their buyout yarn, that sort of thing, when they're buying out a sale somewhere else. And I found this one here. This also has silk in it. This is a, it was listed as a sock weight. It has 600 meters to 100 grams. So I think that's a lot of yarn, almost, you know, bordering on a lace weight. And this also has silk in it. Made in Germany, and it's funny. They have the name of the yarn, or the colorway name, in German, and thankfully I know German, and it's called Frog King. This yarn. I just noticed that. I didn't notice that when I had bought the yarn, but now I'm noticing it. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, and this does have some silk in it. I think 20% worth. Yeah, and 80% virgin wool. So yeah, kind of a fun colorway, the Frog King. So yeah. So stay tuned. We'll have some socks on the needles sooner or later. And I think that's going to do it for me this time around. I feel like I've been motoring pretty quickly, talking really fast, but hopefully I've made some kind of sense. So until next time, keep yourselves happy and keep knitting and crocheting and take care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye.